Hey, what is going on, Virgos? Butch Tarot here. I am going to do your 1 week read. It is a general read. It may not resonate with everyone. It is for your sun, moon, rising, and your Venus. For all you cross watchers, roles can be reversed. Always feel free to comment down below. I am going to be using the Wild Reflections Tarot. I've been hooked on this deck for probably 2 weeks now. And I'm still going to use it. Absolutely love it. It's definitely made its way up into the top 3. Tarot of Dreams is in my top 3, and the Celtic Tarot. It's hard to pick. Drop in the comments what deck you like. If I don't have it, I'll look it up. I will. I am not kidding. Every time I see a new deck, I'm interested, or I hear about a new deck, I'm interested in checking it out. So, but with all that being said, let's get it. Universe, what message do we have for Virgos? What do you have for Virgos? All right, Virgos. So the first thing I see, Virgos, I feel like this is a connection that this person you're already connected to. This is a past person. This is someone I feel like you already have a deep connection to. But I feel like it wasn't always easy with this person. I feel like, it wasn't always easy is kind of an understatement. We have the Tower card, so I feel like there was some chaotic energy. But I feel like you hung in there with this person. I feel like you saw something in this person. You knew there was something in this person that was yet to be seen. And you didn't give up on them. You did not give up on this person. And what I see here is, you put a lot of work in. But I feel like you made the right call. I feel like you were right. You were right about this. You were right about this person. With the Ten of Wands, you put in a lot of work. And there was some thankless days. And there was days when I feel like it almost broke you. But you made the right call. Like I said, I feel like there were some days when it just felt like you didn't know. There's some days when you didn't know if you were right or if you made the right call, but I'm here to tell you, you made absolutely the right call. I feel like your intuition told you, and you listened, and you were right. Because what I do see with this person is I feel like what you've been waiting for is coming. I see a huge transformation in this person with that death card. The death card, I know even before I started doing tarot, when I saw the death card, I always thought that can't be good news. But I feel like this is good news. It's the end of something and the beginning of something else. What I see moving forward is you're not the only one putting in work anymore. I feel like this person's showing up. I see them putting in work. Now they're seeing what you saw. And now we can move forward. And that's exactly what I see here. I see forward movement. We can letting go of the shit that no longer did them any good. I feel like this person was burdened by something. I feel like there was something holding this person back, but it's no longer holding them back. With that devil, they're not being restrained anymore. For some of you, this may be someone that was dealing with some sort of addiction. For others, just somebody just holding on to something that wasn't beneficial to them. And when we talk about addictions, a lot of times people think of alcohol and drugs and even porn addictions. But there's so many more addictions that we don't really talk about. Some people are just addicted to negative energy. They don't want to be, just like any other addiction. They don't want to be, but they're just, it's like those people that just continuously make bad decisions. Or they put themselves in bad positions. It's because they're not, it's an addiction to an extent. It's because that's where they know, so that's where they feel comfortable. Like an addiction to alcohol or drugs, that feeling is something they're comfortable in. They understand it. I have an uncle that he was a very submersed into alcohol. He drank so much that you didn't even know when he was drinking anymore because it was just, and when he finally decided to quit, his wife threatened to leave him and he finally quit. And he said, the first little while, I had no idea what to do with myself. I was just so used to that. So, I feel like people don't put labels on it as addiction, but I feel like negative energy can be an addiction. But like I said, with this person, there were some days when it felt like it was too much. Like you had too much on your plate, but those days are gone. Those days are behind you now. Like I said, all I see is forward movement. I see this person with the death card, huge transformation, big changes coming. I feel like this person is finding it easier to open up, easier to communicate with you. And I feel like that's the biggest step forward here. I feel like this person is not only communicating and opening up, but I feel like it's genuine. It's real. And now we can finally move forward with what you knew was there. I see a bond that you have with this person, and now you can finally see what that bond is all about. Again, we talk about the Seven of Pentacles, and when I talk about the Seven of Pentacles, I always think of like a farmer. I can go throw some apple seeds somewhere, and someday there's going to be an apple tree. Or maybe there won't be. Maybe some deer will come along and eat it when it's little. The Seven of Pentacles is like that nurturing, taking care of it, knowing that you got to put in the work to get the best result. So it's like the farmer plants, the farmer, they do everything to take care of it. They water, they feed, they nurture, they protect. And they know how to get the best results by putting the work in. A lot of people can. I have a lot of family that works on farms, and I know that People think that you just throw some seeds in and then a few months later you crop. That's not how it works. It's absolutely not how it works. If you did it that way, you'd be broke. But like I said, I mean, this person is exhibiting a huge amount of strength. And I feel like that's something that you helped instill in this person. So you can take a lot of the credit here. And I feel like this emotional fulfillment, I feel like that's a reward. That's your reward for sticking it out. There wasn't always, every day wasn't, there was days when it wasn't easy. There was days when it felt like it was too much, but you stuck in there. You hung in. And now you're getting to see something no one else ever saw, from this person. I mean, they're seeing things themselves they never saw. And, you can be held responsible for that in the best way possible. I mean, I feel like you dreamed of this day, and now this day is here. I see you getting everything that you wanted. And one thing I really enjoy seeing, I always love seeing these two together for obvious reasons, but we'll talk about it anyway. We have the Empress and the Emperor. That masculine and feminine energy coming together. It's an amazing connection that's just, it signifies so much in a read. It signifies, abundance. And abundance in so many different ways, not just like a financial abundance, not like in money form or, it's an emotional abundance. It's, two parts coming together to make a whole. And like I said, I mean, I feel like you hung in there. I feel like, I keep going back to this, but I just feel like there was days when you didn't know. You didn't know how it was going to go, but you stuck in it anyway. And that emphasizes Virgos to a T. I have a lot of Virgo friends, like I've said before, and Virgos are absolute rock stars, in my opinion. They're so loving, and they show up for you. They show up, they put in the work, and a lot of times Virgos, if you want to know what your true potential is, talk to a Virgo, because they can see it. They find the diamonds in the rough. And like I said, with this person, you're getting something from this person that they never even knew they had to give, so no one else has ever saw this from them. You had faith when I feel like this person may not have had a whole lot. But this just amplifies that strength that you're going to have in this connection. I don't see any negative energies here that make me feel like this could just be a part-time fix, or this is just, I see longevity here. I see happiness. I see emotional maturity. I feel like this person finally grew up. They finally got their shit together. And now they're showing up for you. Now they're putting in the work. Now they're on the same page. Like I said, you deserve this and more, Virgo. You saw it. You're patient. Yeah, I like it. We have the Sun card, happiness, the Ten of Cups, that fulfillment, Nine of Cups, that emotional, filling up all your cups, getting what you knew you were going to get. You made the right call. Absolutely, 100%. I feel like you made the right call. And I see so many big things coming for the both of you now. And not feeling overwhelmed because you're not in it alone anymore. Like I said, this person shows up for you, and I don't feel like this is I feel like this is a new a new day, a new beginning. Now with this person, we have some Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. We have some Cancer. We have some Aries. We have some Leo. Some Scorpio as well. Yeah. Yeah. It's that's the thing. There's so many people out there that just take things. They may see someone and they're just like, this person doesn't have their shit together. Move on. And it's the thing is with Virgos, they see something that other people don't, and for that, when that comes to pass, you get something that no one else got. I've told the story before about my dad. He's a Virgo, September 3rd. And when we were kids, my dad was very much, he always, I remember him always taking us out on Sundays to do open houses, look at houses. And my dad was always looking for an underappreciated house. And I remember one Sunday went to this house and I was looking at it and I was thinking, okay, we're not going to be here long. This place is in rough shape. Little did I know my dad put a bid in and ended up buying it. And I never understood it. I mean, I understood it when I got older because I started understanding things, but I was little at the time. And I remember my dad and my dad and my uncle would go there, and sometimes my brother, and we'd work on it. We gutted it. We put in new floors. We did this, put in new windows, put a new roof on it. And when we were all done, I remember sitting there thinking, like, this is a really nice house. Like, it was a really nice house. And that was the beginning of my dad, understanding my dad. My dad would flip houses. That was the first house. Like, he had a job other than that. He just did that as a part-time thing. My dad worked his ass off. He was a hard worker. My dad's idea of fun was doing that. And we flipped a few houses over the years. And when I got older, I remember telling my dad that story. I was like, I don't know how you saw it. And I remember him telling me that house, when he flipped that house, the money he made off that house almost paid for the house that we live in. He said, I made a lot of money off that house because nobody wanted to get into it. Nobody wanted to get their hands dirty. What I saw was, something that I'm glad nobody else seemed to see. And I still go by that house once in a while and I see it and it still looks beautiful. And I just keep thinking to myself, like, it's amazing how some people just see it. They see things. Like, my dad would tell me how when I see a house, I see it how it is. And then I picture it how it could be. And that's how I choose the houses I buy. But that's part of flipping houses, is buying a house very cheap and then putting work into it and then selling it for a huge, not always a huge profit, but sometimes. I feel like he made a huge profit on that because, I don't know how much he paid for that house, but I hope he didn't pay much because it was bad shape. But it only took us I think it was 6 months. And that house was beautiful, So the point of the story is Virgos, I don't know if they do that with people, but I feel like sometimes they do. They see you how you are right now, and they see where you where you should be or where you could be. But I appreciate you all the same. I mean, it's something that I guess you can be taught because my dad, taught me, and I learned from him, and I started to, figure out things like that myself. Like I remember when I was 16, I found this house, and I was the one that brought it to my dad, and my dad ended up buying it. We fixed it up and we flipped it, and it was one of the proudest moments because me and my dad always had kind of a strange relationship. We're never really close. Like, we were always together, but we're never really close. I never really knew how he felt about me. Like my dad's very strict. My dad's very straightforward. He's very plain faced. Doesn't smile a lot. Isn't really joyful. But on the flip side, he's not really angry a lot either. He's just really straightforward. And I remember I brought that house to him. It was the first time I was really nervous. I brought the house to him. I showed him the pamphlet. Like there was this thing I got from the real estate agent, the paperwork. I don't know what it's called. And so my dad looked at it, and he never said anything. My brother had brought him some, and my uncle had brought him some before, and my dad, pretty quickly, he'll say no. He didn't say anything, so I was like, okay, so far so good. The next day after school, he picks me up, and we go to look at the house. And I remember, I'd like to say a week or two later, it wasn't long after, my dad had called me out to the living room, and he said, guess what? And I said, what? And he said, remember that house you brought me? I said, yeah. He said, I put an offer in, and they accepted it. And I remember working on that house. It felt like, I didn't pay shit for it. I didn't have any money. Not like that kind of money. Mowing lawns and working at the butcher shop and stuff. Never gave me that kind of money. But it felt like it was ours. And, I just remember how my dad never said anything about it, but in his own way, I feel like he was proud because he never questioned it. We looked at it, he ended up putting money down on it, we bought it, we fixed it up, we sold it. And my dad's the type of person, if he's not happy, he'll tell you. But if he's happy, generally you won't hear anything. But that's just his language, and you had to learn I had to learn to understand it, but I got way off topic. Point is, Virgos see things that other people don't. And when they see something worth holding on to, hard pressed to get it away from them. Anyway, be good. Take care. Stay safe.